Hello, my name is Andrea West, and I did my research on drama process, its effect on students' attitude, and declarative memory of science content. The problem that I found is that when learning science, teachers typically use direct instruction, and this doesn't give students a chance to get involved in the science more. They're just observers, which can give a negative attitude and experience. The purpose of this study was to see if putting drama and using it in science lessons would improve students' attitude or if it also enhanced students' declarative memory. The goal was that this research can impact teachers when they plan science lessons. My research questions were, will the integration of drama process in lessons increase students' attitude towards science? And will the drama process help students improve their declarative memory of science content? My key terms were drama process, so that's the use of drama concepts and skills that has students restructure content information. Attitude, which is an internal situation that affects individuals' choices. Declarative memory, the capacity for recalling facts and events, in addition to comparing and contrasting remembered material. And then direct instruction is when academic content is delivered directly by the teachers, and it's normally in a lecture or demonstration. Then for types of classroom dramas, there's a pantomime, and a pantomime is literally just like miming because you don't use any speech and you use gestures to represent the activity or message you're trying to give. Then there's readers theater, and that's when readers use their voice to bring characters to life. And unlike normal theaters or plays that you will see, there's no sets, props, or costumes, and not memorized lines. They just read off the script. When it came to drama in the classroom for my literature review, there was a lot of research on this, and it included, for the most part, all of their research came out statistically significant. They investigated methodological use of drama, drama as a teaching method in science, the views of teachers on science and drama in the classroom, and they wanted to determine if there were differences in science learning outcomes and attitudes between treatment and control groups in addition to grade levels. Then the other lit reviews I used focused on whether an activity-based discovery affected students' attitude to find out the attitude levels of fourth grade students and according to some variables how that could change. Again, my research question is, will the integration of drama process in lessons increase students' attitude towards science? In addition to, will the drama process help students improve their declarative memory of science content? For my methodology, my setting was an elementary school in Central Virginia. It was a K through 5 elementary school. I worked with a first grade classroom. There were 20 students. I had 10 boys and 10 girls. 7 of those students were ESOL students, in addition to 2 of my students having speech IEPs. My participants ended up being 16 students because I did not receive consent from the others. This was a mixed method study that took place over 3 weeks. It focused on a module from the reading unit that was called The Great Outdoors, which covered Science SOL 1.7 regarding seasons and the water cycle. The drama pedagogy that I used was pantomime, readers theater, and dance. For my data collection, students completed journals. There was 1 response per drama activity. They took a pre-test and post-test on the water cycle, in addition to the test of science-related attitude, which was a survey about how they feel about science. For my procedures, we had a consent form and assent form. During week 1, I gave the students the Torsa pre-test, and then we completed the pantomime with seasons and a journal entry. Week 2, we did the readers theater called Rainy, Sunny, Snowy, Blowy, and a journal entry. And week 3 was the pre-test on water cycle. Then we conducted and completed the water cycle dance. Students took the post-test on water cycle and completed a journal entry. Then later that week, they took the Torsa post-test to see, and this was for me to see if their attitudes had changed. So for the Torsa pretest, the mean was an 88.5%, and it sadly went down to a post-test mean of 83.5%. 0.9%. So there was a decrease in the overall attitude scores, and I failed to reject the null hypothesis. And my hypothesis was that using drama in the classroom would improve students' attitudes towards science. However, the water cycle scores definitely had an increase. It went from a 47.50% mean to a post-test of 72.5%. Because the p-value turned out to be way under 0.05, I rejected the null hypothesis, and this showed that drama can be more beneficial for pre-test and post-test assessments, or when it comes to classroom knowledge. Here is a visual for my Torsa surveys. Here we have, in the blue is their pre-test, in the red is their post-test, and the yellow is showing the points difference and how much their answers changed. So as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 16. So literally half of my participants changed their score from preferring and having a positive attitude towards science. Here is the water cycle assessment results. There is the pre-test score in blue and the post-test score in red, and other than a few students coming up with the same score, we only had those, and then one drop in a score. I believe that this provided additional means of acting learning. It had a creative modeling approach. There was tools that promoted understanding and did not emphasize memorization. Everything that we completed was an activity, and there was no lecturing. There was just direct information given to the students, but we worked on all of it together and collaborated on ideas. As I said, almost all students showed a slight decline in attitudes towards science, but I believe that considering these students were 7 years old, anything going on in their day could change this. They could have had a stomach ache, they could have been thinking about what was going on outside, maybe home life things. And I believe if this study was conducted with higher grade levels, there would be significant results. And I think it would be really interesting if other people did their research on this to see if there is a difference. In addition, positive achievement results from the water assessment show that drama can really help improve scores over time. In conclusion, the students were no longer spectators. They got to move from traditional fixed desk environment to being engaged with their learning. And as I said, we used this opportunity to make learning purposeful and meaningful. When we did the pantomime activity, it was based on seasons, and students acted out something that they liked to do during that typical season. So if it was summertime, they acted out swimming or playing volleyball. For the fall, they picked out picking pumpkins, or they would pick an activity that they could visually demonstrate and have the students guess what activity and what season they were representing based on the activity. I noticed that drama challenges my students to open their minds. They had to use their body and brains, which first graders love to begin with. They got to explore different worlds through scripts and characters, and you can use drama to tell a story in a variety of ways. You can do a play about a biography. You could do a reader's theater about mythical creatures. Any type of story or activity can have drama integrated into it. And as I said, at this lower grade level, the more students can work kinesthetically is best, especially for ESOL learners. Here are my references, and please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for listening.